Right then, afternoon people. I do a little bit of work on the trx4 again today. Remember about a week ago when I replaced the new wheels and tyres, I ended up connecting the battery up, reverse polarity and blew the ESC. And that's because I was using these stupid batteries where you have to plug them in like that, and I'd accidentally plugged them the wrong way around when I plugged it in, so I blew the ESC, so I had to buy a new one. That was 73 quid. I decided to have away with these batteries now. Well, not have away with them, but just not going to use them, so that I don't make that same mistake again. And I was going to buy a couple more, but I found that this one was hung up. I think I bought this one for about 20 quid ages ago. So slightly bigger one at a 42.50. They were 4000s. So I'm going to use this one, but I need to put a plug on the end because it hasn't got a plug on the end yet. Now the way that this is set up in here is, I think I originally chopped off the Traxxas plug and replaced it with an XT90. You can see that there. So I'm going to put an XT90 on that. Also what I bought, because the new Traxxas ESC come, it's got the Traxxas plug on it. I didn't want to bother chopping the connections off that, so I bought a Traxxas to XT90 adapter. I know a lot of people frown on adapters and this, that and the other, but basically I can't be bothered cutting the plugs off and re-soldering new ones on. I just find it easier to buy an adapter and do it that way. So the only soldering I've got to do today is stick a XT90 onto this plug, and then I should be able to replace the ESC and take it from there. The only thing I'm looking at is that looks a little bit bigger. Oh no, it's okay, it's the same size. So I'm not sure about how to bind it, because I've been looking in the instructions that come with it, and it doesn't mention anything about binding it, so I don't know how to go about that, unless you can do that within the app, which I've got with the Traxxas link that's in the back of the radio. So I'll see whether I can go ahead and change it in there. Also I might give the chassis a bit of a clean up, because it's looking a bit mucky at the moment. So I might do that too. Shifts needs to get a bit of usage out of this. It's not been used for a bit. So there we go. So that's what I'm going to do now at the moment. So I'm going to take the ESC off there, plug that one in, put a connector on that, and then see where we are, see where we're up to with that, and hopefully should be able to get this back up and running pretty soon. And I've also done a little bit of jiggery pokery on the roof. I did have two canoes on here, and a couple of boxes, but I think I took a couple of boxes off and put them on the pickup version that I made. It's also got a bicycle, if you can see there, which is a fold-up bicycle, which I've got two of those. Basically that's the bicycle, and then you can unfold it in the middle, and folds like so. So I had it folded on the roof with the strap holding everything down, but what I didn't realise was that I think it was the handlebars or part of the bike was digging into the canoe, one of the canoes. So that's basically left that kind of dent in it, and it's also kind of warped the whole thing. Whoa. It's not supposed to have a. It's not supposed to be looking like a rhino at the front there. So I've taken one of the canoes off, and just left the one decent canoe on there, and a couple of boxes and some sleeping mats and the bike. So it's not as high up as it was when the bike was folded. So we'll see how we go with that. I've also put a couple of cable ties in holding the metal ramps to the side as well. And then also these were a little bit loose. Don't know why these have come loose, they must have stretched a little bit, but the only way I could tighten them up was tighten the screws up a little bit and push them further around that way. So I've done that, tightened that up slightly. I mean, I might even change them and put shackles on the front and connect them to shackles instead, which is what I've done on the blue body that I did. I've also noticed that the snorkel's a little bit out of whack, and also I might need to do something with that at some point. That's not, I need to glue that on. But anyway, there we go. I'm gonna get the ESC swapped over now. Battery plug on, plug it in, see where we are from there. Hopefully get this back up and running. Knowing my luck, it'll probably be a couple of hours by the time I've done that, and then it'll be dark, and then I want to get outside just in the garden there, see if I can run it round in the dark and with the lights on, basically, because I've never had it in the dark with the lights on. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we shall see how we go with that. So we'll see you in a bit when I've connected everything up. Right, finally sorted. That took a bit of a mission to reroute all the wires and get them all tidied back up again. Battery tray had to come out a little bit. Done a lot of cable ties, put the new receiver in, bound the new receiver. Then I went into the, obviously I've got the link on the Traxxas app, so I've got this phone mount on the top so that I can film when I'm driving. So I've done a transmitter upgrade, and now that I've just turned the car back on again and opened the app, it is now doing a receiver upgrade. Not sure what that upgrade is, but it's doing it. So it's doing stage 1 of 2 at the moment. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, we've got brand new receiver in, plugged all the, it looks like there's a lot of wires in here, which there is, because I obviously have the module for the light controller, so I can turn each lights on individually, which the light controller is put on top of the receiver box, and also for the winch controller is all linked in with that as well. So I've got my Traxxas to XT90 adapter there, and then all the wires are plugged in from, there's another adapter from that adapter which has got all the light connections and everything, which plug into the light controller, and in the body, well, that is the light booster, and then in the body up here we've got the light controller and the separate lights, so all the lights are plugged into that, and then I just plug that into the lead that comes off, which is tapped into the battery lead. So we'll see what that does in a minute when it's just updating stage 2 of 2. This is the first time I've ever done any kind of update since I've had the Traxxas, and it's probably been nearly 2 years now. So another thing I noticed when I first, because obviously when I fitted the wheels last week, I couldn't power it on to test it, but as I've unlocked the diffs now, and as I'm spinning the diffs I can see that there's quite a bit of wobble on the tyres, so I don't know whether that's due to the foams being not inserted properly or what. I don't know whether that'll settle itself out, but if that continues to annoy me, then I'll probably take the foams out and put hair donuts in, which I've got in all my other, well, that's what I had in my other wheel and tyre combos, excuse me. So I'm just obviously waiting for this stage 2 of 2 update to complete. It seems to be taking a while, this one on the receiver. The transmitter one didn't take too long. So I'll just go and pause that one. Crikey. Just go and pause that for a second then while I wait for this to update, and I'll come back in a sec. Right then, so it's just finished the update now. I'll just change the batteries in the transmitter because I had the red light flashing after it done the update. It wasn't flashing beforehand, so anyway, I've changed the batteries. All is good to go. So you can see we've got the old, I don't know if you can see the tyre there, how it's just a sec, let me just turn this jack round the right way, pump it up a bit. All 4 of the wheels. I don't really want to be taking the beadlocks apart again to reposition the foams inside. But if you have to do that, then I may as well take them out and replace them with the donuts that I bought. I just thought I'd see how they go with the foams in, because they feel about the same as the donuts, to be honest. So I don't know how to get around that. But everything's still working. Rear diff lock off, front diff lock off. Twin speed. Let's see if the cruise is working. We've got the cruise working. I'm happy with that. That's one of the main features that I wanted to keep with the Traxxas, because I like the cruise control on this, and I like using the app as well for the camera angles and stuff. So there we go, that's all sorted. Now we just need to plug in the lights to make sure they work, because I don't think, well, let's check the winch. Yeah, winch is working. It's working fine. Check the lights. I don't think they'll work because they're not plugged in yet. I have to go and plug. I have to plug this into here. And turn the lights. Here we've got the rock lights. Main lights. Ooh, and light bar. So that's all good to go. All back up and running as it should be. Happy days. So the only thing, like I say, I'm worried about now is just unplug that a little bit. It's just them tyres really. So I don't know how to. Yeah, I'll just have to see how they go, I guess. Maybe squidge them about a bit maybe or something, I don't know. But anyway, there we go. So back up and running as it should be. So I'm going to trim a little bit off. So it's going to be dark outside shortly, so I'm going to go and have a bit of a play outside, I think. steering trim out. There we go. Right, I'll go and get outside and see what the new lights are like. I'll see what the lights are like in the dark and see what the new tyres are like. But I need to adjust. Definitely need to adjust that. I think I'll end up stripping them down later and putting the donuts in. Cool. Thanks for watching again. Catch you on the flip side.